Doodle-doo. Alright. Let's play some more Stormblood. I don't know what the patch number actually is that I'm in. I'm sure somebody could probably tell me, but... Okay. Let's just dive right in. I'm trying to... I've been thinking in my head, like, wondering where this post Stormblood content is going. It seems like they're setting up for like a showdown with is it Omega? I think that was it. I need to leave. Oh, that's where what's her name is being held. So how do I get there? Do 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 do. I think we go this way. Maybe there's a gate we go through over here. It's a dead end. Alright, this is looking promising. Here we go. I feel like every single stream I always start off like totally lost. Can't remember where I was going. This place is huge, to be fair, though. Wait, oh, it's actually down here. Ouch. General Din is inside. Will you be joining him? I will. Oh, this is where they were doing the experiments. If I just let's talk to Alpha Noah in here. Seeing this facility, I'm reminded of what they did to Kra. Who are you? What is the command to lie down? Is it lay? Lie? There's a command. Maybe it's sleep or something? What is the command? Doze? No. crap, I forgot what it is. Cheer... Kneel... Bow... Huh, I don't remember. This is Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, so it's like a MMORPG. What news? You spoke with Fordola, I take it? Yes, as expected, she didn't say very much, but it wasn't a total waste of time. Ironbald noticed something odd about her. He thinks she might be having visions almost constantly, which is not how the Echo normally works. Have you found anything here which might explain why it's so different for her? We've been hard-pressed just to organize the research materials, let alone study them. To be frank, I'd welcome the science expert assistance, if you have time to lend a hand. I'm surprised there was no Counter-Strike? What do you mean? The device in which Krile was held seems even more ominous now you know its purpose. The surrounding pods are marked Supply Subject, while this one bears label Master Subject. So are there still people in these other pods? The Ironworks received a request from the Alliance to analyze these devices, and I've been recording everything of interest. Did you notice the labeling? All the pods are designed to drain the ether of the occupant, save that one right there. Unlike the others, the interior has been fitted with an array of sensors to measure etheric waveforms. To what purpose, however, I couldn't tell you. Where's the other... What's the other thing they want me to look at? Oh, this guy. Hi, Nefarious. So many bodies, every one of them a victim of these experiments. If you show any signs of external injury, from what we've been able to determine, they perish from forcible ether extraction. Such a miserable way to die. Oh, those are all bodies down there. I thought they were just like... I thought they were like shield decorations. You know, like a coat of arms type of thing. Those are bodies. Those are bodies down there. My bad. For sure, Bingus. I'm on Crystal Zalera. I know little and less of science, so any light you can shed on this facility's operations would be much appreciated, Solitary. Shall we start with you? Oh, I forgot I still have this hat on. Taken in combination with the testimonies of Krile and Thancred, I do begin to see exactly what the Imperials were attempting here. The enhancement procedure entailed infusing a single candidate with ether siphoned from a multitude of supply subjects. As for the master subject, in this case Krile, the patterns of her etheric activity would provide the model upon which they would artificially engineer the candidate's aura. In other words, they were trying to recreate Krile's echo, right? I believe so. which would explain our prisoner's present state. Kryla is possessed of an unrivaled ability to hear the whispers of the soul, and it seems probable that the procedure engendered the same acute sensitivity in Fordola. The soldiers who guard Fordola, many of them lost friends and family to the skulls. And there's a sentry at her door night and day. If she can't help sensing their thoughts and seeing their past... This song is pretty. I feel like I haven't heard this before. But you don't just see their past, you live it. All the emotions, all the pain. Imagine what it'd do to you. You'd never be the same again. Indeed, as you may recall, Iselle was completely transformed by a single glimpse of... I forget how to say that dragon's name. It was a dragon. Fordola has been forced to experience the agony of those whose lives she destroyed. The guilt must be unbearable. That explains her request to be executed. Sounds to me like a kind of justice. Regardless, she can suffer on for now. We have more pressing matters to consider. If the results of these experiments have been relayed back to Garlemald, there will be naught to stop the Empire from repeating the trick. They can give the echo to anyone, to an entire legion. We must be ready. We must learn all we can of these godforsaken procedures, and Fordola remains our best source of information. She'll not be getting her wish. Not yet. Right. Keep faith, lass. If you're to convince others to follow you, you must believe what you're telling them. People will respond to passion, but not if it's feigned. I understand. Thank you, General. We should lead the flames to it. Let's go. Let's fix my hat. I go looking for answers about the Echo and end up getting schooled by Raubahn. Yet more evidence that I don't know what I'm doing. It's no wonder people listen to him and not me. General Din is a veteran of countless campaigns, Lise. You cannot compare yourself to a commander of his experience. I know, but I also know that I couldn't have convinced that mob to give up and go home. It makes me realize how much we rely on his authority, and how much I still have to learn. I wonder what he'll do when everything here is settled. I mean, it's his homeland. After going to the trouble of winning it back, might he not want to stay? It is a quandary which countless refugees now face, to continue the life they built in Ul'dah, or start again in the land of their birth. Solitary? A moment? I am newly returned from Ul'dah with a message from the Sultana. Oh, the Sultana! We haven't heard from her in forever. Her Grace desires an audience with you. She understands that you have responsibilities here, but asks that you visit the palace at your earliest convenience. Wow, we're actually going back to Ul'dah. Well, I must be away and attend to other business. Until next time, my friends. An audience with the Sultana, depending on the nature of her consultation. This might be the perfect opportunity to inquire about the General's future plans. Yes, we'd all like to know about those, Alphino, but not everyone is as comfortable interrogating royalty as you. Take no notice of him. I'll do it. Well, the question of how to put the Mad King's treasures to good use shows no signs of answering itself. Shall we be about it, Ernbald? I'm at your beck and call. And I should be getting back to my own tasks. I'll organize a squad to head down into the ruins, and then start preparing for the big meeting. Oh, send Nanamo my regards, Solitary. Does Nanamo actually know who Lise is? I don't think she would. Maybe she would. And ours too, if you please. We shall see you on your return. Let's go back to Ul'dah. Oh, it's been so long since I was in Ul'dah, like, for a purpose. It's like going home in a way. Oh, there's actually people here. I'm not used to actually seeing other players, given that nobody's in the expansion that I'm playing currently. Now, how do we get there? Chamber of Rule. I think that's where I want to go, actually. Accept. Like that. Chamber of Rule. I feel like I haven't really been here since things went down at the end of A Realm Reborn. I could be wrong, but not to Ul'dah, but just like specifically to the palace here. You're expected, my lady. Please proceed. Oh, my favorite song.
I thank you for answering my summons in these most interesting times. You have been busy.
Is that a new voice actress?
The liberation of Alamigo will have far-reaching consequences, and there is a matter upon which I would seek your counsel. I speak of Rauban and his future.
She looks different to me.
All know the tale of his rise from penniless refugee to member of the Syndicate and General of the Immortal Flames. Yet though he has come to call Ul'dah home, it will never be his homeland. He is a son of Alamigo. And now that she is free, I thought it only a matter of time before he sought my leave to return to her. Indeed, I had resigned myself to his loss. Suffice it to say, I was greatly surprised to hear him speak so lightly of handing over the reins in Alamigo and retaking his place at my side. I will welcome him with open arms, of course. He is my most trusted advisor and my dearest friend. But I have known the man a long time, and beneath that steely gaze, I spied a flicker of doubt. Whether Rauban chooses to remain in Ul'dah or return to Alamigo, I only wish that he do so with a heart unburdened by guilt or regret. Yet, how can he freely make such a choice, knowing how much I depend on him? It is past time that I learned to discharge my duties as a sultana alone. I must go forth and see my realm with my own eyes, and hear the wind with my own ears. Might I have your company for a brief adventure?
Oh.
Wonderful. Allow me a moment to change into something a touch less conspicuous, and I will join you outside.
Huh. Speak with Nanamo outside the quicksand. Cool. Have I tried PvP? I feel like maybe once I did. I felt like there was maybe like some quest or something where I unlocked it and just did it as part of the quest, potentially. I haven't spent much time in it though, for sure. If I have done it at all. I have so much main story stuff to catch up on. I'm just trying to chip away at that still. I think it's Adventurers Guild that I want to go to. Oh, there you are. Dressed up like, my gosh, I'm forgetting the name. Tataru. Perchance you remember Lilira, the merchant's daughter? This is the persona I assume when I venture beyond the palace walls to observe my subjects unnoticed. Ordinarily, Papashan would accompany me, but for this particular outing, I need an advisor, not a minder. And that is why I requested your company. Over the course of your many adventures, you've met many people from all walks of life in every corner of Eorzea, and I would make use of your worldly experience. Now let us be on our way. Our first destination is Stone's Throw, just beyond the Gate of Nald. Gate of Nald. Just outside here, huh? This is bringing me back to when I fought my very first fights in the game. It was like taking out these enemies right here. And I was afraid to fight the tortoise because it was level 12. Look upon this procession of tattered tents. These refugee camps in squalor at the mercy of the elements and Thanalin's predators both. The city's mighty walls offer safety, but the streets overflow with people as it is. And unless blessed by the hand of Nald himself, no refugee could ever hope to afford a dwelling in Ul'dah. 20 years have passed since the fall of Alamigo, and 5 since the calamity. Yet the plight of the poor has grown more desperate, not less. As Sultana, the blame falls upon me. Your hands have been tied. Yes, my authority is limited, and that is an obstacle I must work to overcome. Shall we press on? I would follow the road to the unholy air. Unholy air. Well, I'm in an area where I can actually fly again. I can fly! Hey Chili, how you doing? It was here in this wholly unremarkable place that my mother and father met their doom. I was but a child at the time. My parents were returning from an inspection of our interests in eastern Thanolin, I think is how they say it. When an untimely rockslide crushed their carriage. To this day, it is not certain if the incident was simple misfortune or an expertly planned assassination. Oh, that's how your parents died. Raubon once offered to reopen the investigation and bring me the truth he assumed I must surely crave, but I refused. Even if my parents' deaths were orchestrated by the Monetaris, we could only have brought their heirlings to justice. The true villains, those who plotted to put me on the throne as a biddable puppet, were ever beyond our reach. Thus did I plan to strip the merchants of their power and place our nation in the hands of its citizens, quite unaware of the consequences that my actions would have for you and yours. I shudder to think how many goodly souls paid the price of my naivety. But I am no longer a child reciting words in witless obedience, and I will not be used as a pawn in the Monetaris' damnable games. Forgive me my outburst. You are one of the few people to whom I feel I can speak my mind. Is it because I never say anything in return? I'm silent? Come, let us return to Ul'dah and visit the Colosseum. Colosseum. Question is, jealous of the field of view PC has? Is it a lot different on console? Never actually seen what the game looks like on console before. Oh, there you are. The old PS percentage. From the moment I became Sultana, I found myself thrust into an endless parade of document signing and ceremonies. For years, I simply signed where I was told to sign and sat where I was told to sit, blissfully oblivious to what any of it meant. Yet one good thing did come from the ignominious chapter in my life, for it was during an official visit to the Colosseum that I first met Raubon. The match I had been invited to attend was not all what I expected. They pitted the Bull of Alamigo against some dozen or so rival gladiators. I could not stand for so obvious an injustice and demanded to see a fair fight, one man against another. And my royal wish was duly granted. It was not until later that day I learned of the gambling ring which had arranged for Raubon to die on the sands that day. Oh, I like this background we're getting. Regardless, my intervention meant that Raubon had but a single opponent to dispatch, which he duly did. And when he knelt before me to receive the winner's purse, he swore that he would one day offer me his blade in service. Surrounded as I was by liars and manipulators, I confess I dismissed it as a pleasant piece of theater. But as you know, Raubon is a man of his word. Though it took him another 5 years of fighting on the blood sands, he amassed a fortune so great as to buy not only his freedom, but a seat on the syndicate. And then I had my blade. Uh-oh. We're gonna have a vision of that? We are. Ah, back when he had 2 arms still. Oh. Cool. That helmet has gotta be heavy, right? Victory music.
Your Grace, you mustn't! The danger is too great! Please, Your Grace, come back! I beg of you!
Huh?
It seems you're the
That
one who
leap
needs to be
over the
looked at, Master
body.
Shum.
Boing.
Rabon!
Your Grace, I have kept the promise made.
So you have, and in turn, so too shall I keep mine. With your winnings, you have become one of the 6 most wealthy souls in all Uldar, and so, as tradition dictates, Rauben Aldin, you have earned yourself a seat on the Syndicate. May your new station garner you still greater glories.
I am honored, Your Grace, and vow to serve with every fiber of my being from this day till my last. Long live the Sultana, and long live Uldar!
Cool. I'm glad we got to see it. Words cannot well express what that man means to me. There are others who care deeply for my well-being, of course. Papa Sean's love for me is as that of a grandsire for his grandchild. But upon matters of governance, I cannot turn to bodyguards and maidservants for counsel. Rabon, with the authority of his syndicate position, was the first sword I could wield. His was the only edge which could cut the strings that bound me. Ba 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 ba. We must make haste. My absence will not go unnoticed by the Sultan's one. Oh. And there are other places I would visit. To the Arzanath ossuary. The where? Oh, it's this place down here. This is where, like, the mages hang out, if I remember correctly. When the calamity threatened, Rabon led the Alliance forces into battle on the plains of Cartno. I remained here. I prayed with all my heart that our Archon Louisoix would have the power to rouse the 12. Since that day, I have made a custom of visiting this shrine during each of my little excursions. Here I seek the blessing of Thal. I reflect upon my choices and ask myself if I am fulfilling my duties as Sultana. You are rightly celebrated as a champion because you have led the line in 100 battles for the good of Eorzea. In much the same way, I believe the measure of a monarch lies in how she leads her people in times of adversity. If I am to be a Sultana worthy of the name, I cannot turn a blind eye to the troubles facing Uldar. I have chosen my path, Solitary. With Alamigo now freed from imperial chains, I finally see a way to aid the refugees. Already many displaced Alamigans seek to begin the long trek home. To facilitate that process, I have made a small contribution an artisan school in Ralgar's reach for any who wish to learn new trades. Realistically, however, it will take years for such training to yield tangible benefits. But we do not have years. These people will need shelter and employment if they are to survive, and this time the Ul'dan treasury shall provide. Precisely where and how to allocate the necessary funds is, of course, another question. Might you ask a member of the Syndicate for advice? Why not seek the advice of one who employs refugees? A wise suggestion. Mayhap a visit to the Gold Saucer is in order. Its proprietor is a member of the Syndicate, and he is one of the few who pay refugees a fair wage. I wonder, are you acquainted with... Yes, Manderville? Yes, we are. Then I need not explain his eccentric nature. Let us make our way to the landing, and I will see that word is sent to the Gold Saucer. Godbear should be only too glad to receive us. Gold Saucer time, huh? Airship landing. Oh, they're gonna make us take an airship there. Okay. Crap, how do I get there? Do not remember how to get to the airship landing. Oops, that's not a door, that's a bookcase. Where am I? Get out of here. Okay, there we go. I think there's a... Oh, it does let me teleport there. Okay, that's nice. Okay. I've ridden aboard a public airship before, but this shall be my first visit to the Gold Saucer. I must confess to some excitement. Oh, she's never been to the Gold Saucer? Huh. I had heard descriptions of its splendor, yet I've never dreamed it would be so bright and inviting. No, I couldn't possibly. We did not come here to, fritter away the royal coin. Pepper will be expecting us. Come, let us head directly to the lounge and ignore these gaudy temptations. Surely we can play one round of mini Cactpot, though. I knew she wasn't dead. Alright, what do we want here? Feeling good about this. Crap. It's 10, 7. Yeah. Can you imagine if they, like, kept you this entire time wondering if she died at the end of A Realm Reborn? You don't find out until this quest. 9, 12. That's not great. It's 9. I did not do very well there. Crap. Wait, do we go in here? No. Maybe I need to go up? Ah, the lounge, yes. Here we go. I believe this is where we are to meet Lord Mandeville. Shall we sit while we wait his coming? There he is. My apologies, Your Grace. I have kept you waiting. No apologies are necessary. My request was sudden, and you were kind to make yourself available at such short notice. When the intrepid solitary Saturn and the Sultana herself come calling, there is no more important engagement. As to the purpose of my visit, I would have your thoughts on how the Crown might best aid the refugees residing in Thanalin. You are aware, I am sure, that many of Alamigo's displaced sons and daughters long to return to their newly liberated homeland. And you are also aware of how they will suffer without shelter and work to sustain them. I would use our nation's wealth to spare them that suffering. What advice have you for me on the matter of how it might be best distributed? The unusual circumstances of our meeting and your Grace's choice of companion would suggest to me a desire for an honest and unvarnished opinion. I shall give you one. My advice to you is, stop. Taxing Uldah's wealth to save all Amigan refugees is a terrible, terrible idea. You oppose my proposition? Most emphatically. I agree with your Grace that the refugees must have housing and employment, but what profit is there for Uldah in this arrangement? Profit? After all you have done for Girabani's displaced, I thought you the very last person to seek to benefit from their misfortune. Forgive me, your Grace, but you appear to be laboring under a misapprehension. It's a fine endeavor to support one's fellow man. I fear, however, that your stance is one born of pity. Your intent is to save the refugees, is it not? For all our potential, we are indolent creatures by nature. If unconditional charity is all we know, then we begin to rely upon it, to expect it. And then we must consider Uldah's own poor and downtrodden. Should they hear of you spending the nation's coin, not to improve their lot, but to nurture the distant citizens of Alamigo, it is unlikely they will applaud your generosity. Surely it is not your Grace's intention to foster new resentments, but to spread goodwill? Indeed. Then any support I pledge to the refugees must promote self-sufficiency, whilst also serving the interests of the people of Uldah. Exactly so. Such an arrangement will create a far more equitable relationship with the returning Alamigans, even as it generates the revenue required to win the approval of your subjects. You have given me much to ponder. I thank you for your candor. I feel like I'm not used to seeing this dude with like a shirt on. He usually still. Profit. The thought never even crossed my mind. But standing about lamenting my naivety will not do anyone any good. I shall consider my lesson learned and press on. Solitary, are you perchance acquainted with any successful merchants? If my attempt at philanthropy is obliged to reap a profit, it would seem wise to consult someone with a knack for business. Ordinarily I would not trust any agent of the East Aldenard Trading Company, but if you hold this Hancock fellow in high esteem, I am content to be led by you. You may repay my faith by journeying to the distant Kugane and speaking with him on my behalf. Eager though I am to visit those shores, I have not the leisure of a lengthy sea voyage. Now, assuming you will travel as adventurers are wont to do, I shall await your report by the Aetheryte in Ul'dah. A fair journey to you, Solitary, and a swift one, if you please. Hancock was the first person I thought of? Surely I've come across other merchants. Is this still going? Wait, this is still a thing? Or did it just come back again? Or did they just decide to make it permanent? I swear it started as like just a event. What's this place called? Ruby Bazaar. Yes, I will. Solitary, to what do I owe the pleasure? Or are you here on business? I beg your pardon. Her Grace the Sultana would have my opinion on how to best invest the wealth of Ul'dah? My dear Solitary, I have you to thank for this recognition, I am sure. And I am flattered that you came to me, truly flattered. But why settle for a lowly apprentice when you could have the master? On matters of profit, there is no living soul better qualified to advise Your Grace than Chairman Lolorito, a man whose morning exertions are said to fill his garderobe with gold. I should be happy to arrange a meeting for you, say at the Scion's formal headquarters in Thanalin. The Waking Sands would seem a suitably neutral venue for negotiations, don't you think? Fare you well, Solitary, and may your dealings prove fruitful. Can't we just work with you, Hancock? I don't want to work with Lolorito. I think I used my last Vesper Bay ticket. Dang. I could use that. I could really use that right about now. I don't know the best way to get back there. Can't remember how to get there. Oh. Oh, we need to talk to Nanamo here first anyways. Okay. Okay, that worked out. Welcome back. Did your merchant friend have any useful advice to share? With Lolorito? I knew she wasn't gonna like that. And you agreed to this? I'm well aware of his standing in the field of business, but I had hoped to keep the monetaries at arm's length, and him in particular. Yeah, I cannot live in fear of the man. I must learn how to treat with him if I am to rule Uldar effectively. Very well. I will meet with Lolorito. Let us go on ahead to the Waking Sands and prepare for his coming. Oh, they teleported me here. Thank you. Very kind of you, game. So this is where the Scions first congregated. I've heard many tales, but never had occasion to visit. To work then. The hour of the meeting draws near, and I would gather my thoughts. Pray see to it that we have the appointed room to ourselves.
A personal summons from the Scions. This must be important business indeed. Though, if it concerns anything so underhand as an assassination, I fear I can be of little help. You have made your point. 'Tis indeed unsettling to find oneself seated across from an impassive mask.
Whoa.
There, would this better please your grace? Or should I address you
nice.
as Lady Lilira? Hmm?
Nay, the deception has served its purpose. I am glad to see you found amusement in my little jest, Lord Lolorito, but shall we proceed to the business at hand?
By all means. I must say I am most eager to hear your proposal.
Simply put, I would aid the refugees camped in Thanalan in their efforts to return to Alamigo. The reparations you paid in the wake of your earlier misdemeanors will be used to fund the endeavor, together with the fortune seized from the late Teleji Adeleji's estate. But this plan is not intended to benefit the displaced alone. I would make of this an investment which shall enrich Uldar and Alamigo both. And who better to consult on matters of profit than the wealthiest man in all of Thanalan? I beseech you then, Lord Lolorito, share with us your mercantile wisdom.
Ah, 'twould seem your grace has matured beyond acts of earnest yet misplaced charity. Pray tell me more.
I think he's in.
To summarize, in return for facilitating the repatriation of refugees and assisting in the establishment of new industry in Alamigo, you ask that a proportion of all subsequent profits be promised to Uldar. Ha! I am impressed, Your Grace. 'Tis an elegant solution, albeit one lacking certain crucial details, specifically which industry and where.
How swiftly you identified the weakness in my plan, just as I knew you would. Your travels have taken you across the length and breadth of Gir Abania, and you know the land far better than I.
Right.
Which of the settlements you visited would best provide a home for our refugees? Which has the greatest potential to flourish, given the appropriate investment?
That underwater one? Crap. I don't remember where any of these are. I remember this one. Alagiri.
Yes, if a stable trade route can be established between Uldar and Alamigo, then Alagiri would once more become an important waypoint. But while such growth would greatly benefit its current residents, I'm afraid it could sustain little beyond.
I think I chose the wrong one. Perhaps the Saltery? It could be salt, could be our business.
Yes, that desolate little village on the shore of Loch Seld. I know the Saltery and its products well. The Imperial invasion brought an end to their more widespread distribution, much to the dismay of many a wealthy gourmand, myself included. Salt has ever been a transformative ingredient, and in this instance, I dare say, it could transform a modicum of effort into a mountain of gil.
The local citizens will need to be consulted, of course, but I trust the East Aldenar Trading Company can be relied upon to provide its assistance in negotiating a mutually beneficial arrangement.
Naturally, Your Grace. I shall dispatch representatives well versed in the extraction of this white gold and wring every last ounce of profit from its production. The Loch's bounty will contribute to Alamigo's enrichment, whilst easing the burden on the bull's aching shoulders, just as Your Grace desired.
It's a win-win.
A deal is struck then.
Salt. I fear it will be many years before I feel comfortable taking part in such negotiations. But I shall not complain. We have piqued Lolorito's interest and secured his invaluable expertise. Thank you, Solitary. I could not have done it without you. Oh, you're welcome. Wap-a-pa-pow. Our course is decided. I shall return to the palace and have my ministers begin work on implementing the particulars of the plan. If I could prevail upon you one more time, Solitary, I would ask that you convey the details of our negotiations to Commander Hext on your return to Alamigo. My thanks again. Together, we have laid the groundwork for an endeavor which promises to benefit the peoples of Alamigo and Uldar both. Let's go. Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. Wait, why can't I talk to Urianger here? Alice's Resolve. It's a blue quest, okay. Alamigan Quarter. By the way, if anybody is interested in joining our Discord, we do have a Solitary Saturn Discord channel. You're welcome to hang out there. you can, there's not a command for it for the chat, but if you go to the About section on my YouTube channel, you'll find the link there. So, unless Peach or someone is still here and they can post the link for you. So. Solitary, you're back. What did Nanamo... Oh, sorry. Are you allowed to talk about your audience with the Sultana? Yeah, we went to the Gold Saucer. So Raban says he's going to return to Ul'dah, but she isn't sure he wants to? Tell us something we don't know, but I'm pleased to hear she's committed to helping our refugees come home. And this plan to revitalize the Solitary does make a lot of sense. Quite how you convinced her to seek Lolorito's help is another question. After all that has happened, he is the very last person I would expect her to turn to for advice. But on a more practical note, please, assuming the interim government elects to accept Uldah's proposal, I have one caveat. I should like you to include it in the bargain. Alamigo must be permitted to cover a portion of the investment. We have a fortune at our disposal, after all, and allowing Ul'dah to provide the entirety of the capital will afford Lolorito too much control. Honestly, Afano, it's like Kugani never happened. What exactly does a ruthless profiteer have to do to earn your trust? But yes, you do make a good point. First things first, though, we need to discuss this proposal with the Solitary's residents. How do you fancy explaining the Sultana's plan to your grandfather? I'd like to hear what Watt thinks of the idea before agreeing to anything. Right away, Commander. Would you mind coming along, Solitary? I might need you to fill in the details. Then I shall come as well. Should Watt wish to discuss figures, my knowledge of the nation's finances may prove useful. Yeah, I think it's a good idea that they invest some of their own funds into it, so that it's not like 100% they owe everything to Ul'dah. Like, they can kind of like pay back Ul'dah at a certain point, and then it becomes their own thing, you know? Mend my equipment while I'm here. Go in here? No. I can't. What, does anybody know what the number of the, like the patch I'm in currently? Should I go here, maybe? What manner of mischief brings you youngins to Old Wat this time, eh? I want to rebuild the Saltery, Granddad. Solitary, tell him about the deal. We've never had the coin or the hands to put the place back to how it was, but it sounds like that's about to change. There's just one small wrinkle in your plan. It doesn't account for all the nasties queuing up to eat anyone who goes near the shore. The king used to send soldiers to coal them, but the Imperials weren't about to help the likes of us. Don't worry, Granddad. We'll take care of all that. Commander Hext has been talking about starting up regular patrols, and I'm sure she'd assign me to the lock if I asked. I'd appreciate that, my lad. Truly I would. So does this mean you've gotten better with the blade of yours? I've been training, mostly to kill Imperials. You have some experience hunting monsters, don't you, Solitary? Think you could cast an eye over a few of the local beasties and teach me how to deal with them? Sure. Let's not waste any time then. I'll see you by the lock. Whilst you're busy attending to the local fauna, I shall have Master Watt explain to me exactly what is required to restore the Saltery to its former glory. Good hunting! And thus has her grace gone from being a puppet of the monetarist to a puppet of capitalism. Now the rich don't have to get rid of her anymore. Whee! Ow. Right then, Solitary. Got a spyglass here you can use to take a closer look at these pests. Once you've got their measure, you can tell me what to do, and we'll see how well I get on. Hey Vera, how are you doing? Search your surroundings and inspect with left click. Discover its weak point? The tail is the weak point. Wait, what am I doing? Observe the Abbey to determine its vulnerabilities. Is there like something to indicate where the weakness is? Or am I just guessing here? What am I doing? Am I crazy? Is there supposed to be like something visible here? The belly. The neck? Oh! Something happened. The jaw. Oh, the jaw. Why do I have to get up early enough to be able to catch? Yabby's entire body is protected by a hard carapace, but the underside of the head looks soft and vulnerable. Ah, looks like you found a Yabby. Yabby? They say hitting their shell is like smacking a rock. Any suggestions? Aim for the jaw. Aim for the soft underside of the head. Just hit it as hard as you can. We'll give him the correct advice. Vulnerable under the head, are they? Right then, wish me luck. Let's go. Got it. Da, da, da. Thanks, I did just as you told me, and the wavekin went down like a sack of... Is that supposed to say potatoes? Sack of potatoes? Or is it supposed to be potatoes? I think it's supposed to be potatoes. Yeah. I don't think they have potatoes in this world, maybe. Where did he go? Can I defeat one though? Piano here is super pretty. I think I can handle the yabbies now. So we should try something different. What else is out there? Okay. .1? The eyes. Aim for the eyeball. Are large and powerful, but destroying its crystallized core should render the salt golem inanimate. You sense power pulsating from behind its brow. How would you say this? Faux bad? How do I defeat one of those? Just destroy the core within its brow. Inside its head it is. Try to stab it right between the eyes then. Da-da-da-da. Easy. It's not easy fighting with the Liberator of Alamigo watching your every move, but I got the job done. Thank you for the advice. I feel a lot better prepared for my patrols now. Anyway, we should head back to the Salter before Grandad starts to worry. I've been snipped into pieces and fed to a Yabby's... I've been snipped into pieces and fed to a Yabby's hatchlings. Whoa. I see you've returned in one piece. Dealt with those beasties then, did you? I fought them myself after a bit of instruction from Solitary here. Once I've shared what I've learned with the others, we should have no trouble keeping the shoreline clear. Good lad, a fine young man you've become. Fine young man indeed. Too often of late I hear tales of folk over in the city drunk on victory and hungry for revenge, their heads stuck firmly in the past. But we need to set our sights on the future, on things which will improve our lot. Things like getting the Saltery ready to welcome our long-lost countrymen. Excuse me. Wapapapa. Apano seems satisfied that he and Water have one mind. Seems Whiskar and the Saltery's security well in hand. I meanwhile have discussed the next steps with Master Watt and completed my inspection of the site. With a little work, the vacant buildings here could be made into very presentable dwellings. Message from General Aldin. Apologies for the interruptions, miss, but the General would speak with you at your earliest convenience. Do not feel obliged to wait around on my account. I'll remain here to hammer out the finer details with Watt, and act as an intermediary with our business partners in Ul'dah. You should go. General Din asks that you wait for him by the main gate in the Alamigan corridor. My apologies again, miss. Fare you well. Okay, I think I'm gonna wrap up the stream here. Looks like I'm having some weird stream quality issues. I'm dropping a ton of frames right now. So before it gets any worse, I think we're gonna wrap up here. I need to look into why that's happening. That's been happening a ton.